Let us begin with our meditation song, our opening meditation song. On page 28, We Are One, being accompanied by Anne Dalamo.
We are one with each other as we share the love of the Christ within. We now open our hearts and our minds to receive. We are open, ready, willing, accepting, receiving our great
And so we take a moment to unify with that inner one, that divine one, that animates our bodies in this beautiful life. Animates our bodies as a beautiful spiritual being having a human experience. And for this we give thanks, and for this beautiful day, for this beautiful Father's Day, as we send love to our earthly fathers and accept love from our inner fathers. And so it is. Thank you, God. Taking in a nice deep breath, letting it out, becoming awake, alert, aware, and ready to continue our day. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Reverend Mary Ann Kelly, and I'm your leader this morning. So pleased to be here with you. Let's see. The teaching of the inner Christ. What are we? We're a New Age, non-denominational, interdenominational teaching that assists all who so choose in gaining conscious contact with their own inner Christ. And so we welcome you all to this, and a little bit later we'll be talking about some ways that we can help you with that if you're interested. I have a little bit of a housekeeping thing here. If you would like to check your cell phones. I think I forgot to check mine, but okay, hopefully nobody will call. Make sure they're off. Everyone will appreciate that. We have a few members who would like to go to spiritual celebration, but seemingly have a little bit of a financial concern. So if anyone would like to contribute a little bit towards that, we have a little gold box in the back, and we know that whatever we give to those folks who would like to go comes back to us multiplied. So we give thanks for all who are happy to donate, and for those who will benefit from it. So let's see. Also, we'd like to welcome all of our online audience. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoy our service, and we'd like to let you know that if you're in the San Diego, we offer a lot of things here, online classes. And if you'd like to refer to our website, we have 2 classes coming up. We have Woman Awareness coming up in July 9th, and that's on a Saturday, and it will be at 10 o'clock in the morning at specific time. So if you'd like to join us then, we would just love to have you. I think you'd find this class a lot of fun, ladies. And so we welcome you to that if you'd like to come. And then in September, online, we also have Inner Sensitivity. That's our basic course, and that's for all those who want to make that inner contact, who want to feel that inner contact. And it has a lot of really wonderful experiences in it. So each class is experiential and with a meditation. So we look at a lot of different ways of meditation. So we will welcome you to that too. Also, you can look online for that, and that would be at www.teachingoftheinnerchrist.org. So we welcome you to check that out. Also, if you wanted to go online, well, you're already there if you're watching this. you know where to find us for our online services as well. And we welcome you to this. Does anyone here have a prayer demonstration that they'd like to share? For we know that prayer works. Okay, well, no sharing today, but we have a very active prayer circle, and it meets on Wednesdays. And so if anybody here has a prayer request that they have, we have, in your program, we have a form, a prayer request form. If you'd like to fill that out, you can put it in our prayer box in the back, and we will turn it over to our prayer circle. And of course, what we'd like to have you do is to let us know when they demonstrate, so that we can, that boosts our prayer consciousness as well, to know how they demonstrate. We know that they will in some form, so just let us know, and if you need us to pray longer than 2 weeks, let us know that too. So that's that. Let's see, what else do we have? A little later on in the service, what I will be doing will be a prayer for everyone's true desires. And so you can hold that in your heart, or you can put it on this thing, and then the prayer circle will pray on it for longer if you want us to. Now we get to have a group song. And if you turn to page 46 in your songbook, there's a song that says, "I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing." If you'd like to rise, we'll sing that one. And will accompany us again.
I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing. I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing. I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing. And obey the Spirit of the Lord. I'm gonna shout when the Spirit says shout. I'm gonna shout when the Spirit says shout. I'm gonna shout when the Spirit says shout. And obey the Spirit of the Lord. I'm gonna pray when the Spirit says pray. I'm gonna pray when the Spirit says pray. I'm gonna pray when the Spirit says pray. And obey the Spirit of the Lord. I'm gonna work when the Spirit says work. I'm gonna work when the Spirit says work. I'm gonna work when the Spirit says work. And obey the Spirit of the Lord. I'm gonna love when the Spirit says love. I'm gonna love when the Spirit says love. I'm gonna love when the Spirit says love. And obey the Spirit of the Lord.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So we have some events going on. Guess what's coming up this week? I have to announce that Wednesday we won't be having a service, and neither next Sunday either. But guess what? Well, we will be having a service, just not in this room. We'll be having it at our spiritual retreat, Transition and Inside Job. And this is going to be at Vina de los Tenac Retreat Center in Temecula. And that'll be June 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th. And so I believe I'll call on Reverend Kayla Rose Carroll. Do we have any more room for anybody?
Possibly, but everything's been turned in,
Okay.
and but we did have a room left over.
We have a room left, one room left.
Whether they've already allocated that to another group, I would
Okay.
have to call and find out.
All right. All right. Well, anyway, that's where we'll all be. We might still have some daytime.
We have lots of
Lots of
room for
daytime. So if you want to come up for a Friday or a Saturday, come on up and we'll welcome you, and we'll have a lot of fun. We're just finishing up the final, and I think it's going to be the best one ever. Let's see. I think Let's see. Oh, today, after service, we're gonna have birthday cake. So anybody who would like to join us for coffee, today is birthday Sunday. We'll see what happens then. Let's see, what else have we got? Oh, yes. We have the book of the month is The Creative Process in the Individual, and that's by Thomas Troward. He was a judge, an English judge, and very deep thinker, and it's an introduction to the universal creative principles. So if you're interested in going in a little bit deeper into the inner one, this is the place to, this is one of the books to go. And it's on sale, it's 10% off. So it, with tax, is $11.27. Good book to have in your personal library for anyone who's into New Thought ideas. So it's a really good book. It's one of the books that is required for ministerial classes here at the Teaching of the Inner Christ. Coming in September, we have a prayer therapy class here in the San Diego area. There is a prerequisite of inner sensitivity for that class, so look for that coming September 6th. So there you go. And then, of course, we've already talked about the online classes. So, and of course, in prayer therapy, you go in deeper to the understanding of what the power of prayer and how you can do it for yourself in that first class. You'll enjoy that one. It's a really wonderful class. Let's see, now we have some music. We have an original composition. And since we're all getting ready to go to spiritual celebration, it seems perfect. It's being done for us by Ann Delamo, and this is her original composition. It's called Unpack. Let's welcome Ann Delamo.
Unpack.
Unpack.
You can take yourself on an endless ride. You can take yourself on a tour. You can take yourself to the other side, whether you're rich or poor. You don't need a passport to get aboard. Definitely come as you are. All you gotta do is just bring yourself. You don't need a train or a car. You got a round trip ticket into paradise. You got a round trip ticket back home. You've got a travel agent that'll melt the ice and never leave you alone. So let's travel, laugh and love and relax. Let's travel, but first you gotta unpack. You gotta unpack politics. Gotta unpack finance and romance. You gotta unpack the neighbors. You gotta unpack the government. You gotta unpack miscellaneous little gripes and bitches. You gotta unpack. You gotta unpack. You gotta unpack. You can take yourself on an endless ride. You can take yourself on a tour. You can take yourself to the other side, whether you're rich or poor. You can take yourself to the other side and leave the baggage behind. You got an e-ticket with the perfect guide and a taste of that peace of mind. You got a round trip ticket into paradise. You got a round trip ticket freeway. You gotta unpack neatly. You gotta unpack. You gotta stop and think about it first. You gotta unpack. You gotta stop and pray about it first. You gotta unpack. Take it to the swap meet. You gotta unpack. Don't go back there and buy it back again. You gotta unpack.
Well, there you go.
Get busy.
Get busy unpacking. Our inspirational reading this morning comes from what we lovingly call our pink books. They're our love scriptures, and they're channeled messages from the present Jesus. And this one comes from page 65. It's Everlasting Peace is the name of it. Now on page 65, Jesus says, this is a prayer. God of my being, seed of my reality, I open myself inward to you. Shine upon me and feed me life. Trickle to me love from the center wells of your light. Light of light, I open my eye to you. Light me, and light through me thyself, that through my being the center of light may light itself. For thy light is my home. Core of love, gatherer of all unto one, stretch out thy boundaries to encase me, that I may lose myself in the folds of thy tenderness. Chord of love, sing through me into thine own ear, that the sound of the one may resound through me, and find its rest again in the one. For thou art me, and I am thine. Thou art the rock upon which I stand, and the wind upon my face. I cannot look anywhere without seeing thee, my God, nor can I look upon me without beholding thy shell, O God. Tune me, fill me, grind me to powder and form me. Uncreate and recreate me at this moment, that I may know the hand of God in its action. Energy of all that is, leave me not still, but vibrate through my being. Loosen me from all that is static. Loosen me, melt me, pour me into thy waters. Stir me in with thee. Stir me up with my brothers. Drink me and give me of your cup. For I am thee and thou art me. The Father is the Son, and the Son is the Father. Center me home in the center, as though I never strayed. Father of fathers, I come back. Home, I fall into you. Thank you, Jesus. And our speaker this morning, she's quite a lady. She has a fantastic sense of humor. She is the lady who organizes all of our socials, makes sure we have something nice to eat at the end of our service, and she organizes big potlucks and all kinds of things like that. She's a teacher here at the Teaching of the Antichrist, and she's also a teaching of adult education. She teaches English as a second language. That's a wonderful, wonderful calling. And she does it all with joy, and she does it all with excitement, and she's just a beautiful lady. Please help me welcome, speaking to us on honoring our Father Principal, Reverend Elaine Fuller-Zachy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, honoring our Father Principal. The Father Principal, as defined in the Revealing Word, a dictionary of metaphysical terms, is the exact and immutable principle of being, lying back of all existence as cause, and approachable only along lines of perfect law. It is omnipresent and is not subject to change or open to argument. And Being a Christ by Ann and Peter Meyer says that God is the creator, the Father, and is the masculine aspect. God is all power without an opposition. And since it expresses as freedom, we have free choice. God is omniscient, and this all-inclusive knowledge is available to everyone. God is everywhere present, and so we are the qualities of God. God is harmony, all working together to express good. God is beauty, and so we recognize and love beauty. God is joy, the principle of life, consciously aware of itself and fully expressing. Caring is love and action, God's love expressing through all creation. Jesus channeled what he said, and he did it from his Father or his I am self. We all channel. As, again, I quote from Being a Christ, page 168, this quote, everyone is a channel for spirit. The Father is the masculine, assertive, decision-making aspect of life. This principle makes the decisions and gives the order to whomever or whatever is to carry them out. We use this masculine decision-making aspect of all-powerful, omniscient God when we decide to take a new job, call a friend, or cook a meal. How could we function at all without this? We need to make decisions, right? And give ourselves orders to do things. We all embody this Father aspect to one degree or another and use it in our lives. As a rule, it's more frequently, a little more frequently used in males than in females. I love watching my feral cats, including George, the dad cat, as he expresses one of the attributes of God, the Creator, the masculine nature of God. Since God is omnipresent, God expresses through and as little cats. And one incident, Smokey decided to play with his sister, Little Gray, and these are both George's kittens, and they're grown. He ran up to her, pounced on her, and they had fun at first. But Smokey, who was bigger and stronger than his sister, got rough quickly. He rolled her around in the dirt. She cried, and Dad Cat picked up his ears. He ran up to the two, pounced directly on top of the wrestling cats. Smokey ran in one direction, Little Gray in the other, and George stood there, then looked at me with big round eyes and twitching ears, like kind of alarmed, and I knew he was thinking that his kittens were brats. Like, why did they do this? He was clearly aggravated by their behavior. So, ever feel aggravated with anyone's behavior, like children picking on each other? Probably have. Animals are great little teachers. George expressed the Father attribute of caring, of love from the Creator, love, expressing love, as he broke up the scuffle. So happy Father's Day to George. Right? He's a good dad. Yahoo online has great information under the history of Father's Day. Here we can read that some scholars believe that Father's Day can be traced far back, even to Babylon. That's a whole bunch of years ago. A Father's Day message carved on a clay card almost 4,000 years ago has been found. Elmasu, a young boy, wished his Babylonian father good health and a long life. So modern Father's Day originated in the U.S. Sonora Louise Smart wanted a special day to honor fathers. From 16 years of age, her own father, a Civil War veteran, raised her and 5 other children lovingly since her mother had died in childbirth. Sonora, supported by the Spokane Ministerial Association of the local YMCA, brought about the first Father's Day in Spokane, Washington on June 19th, 1910. There was a Mother's Day by that time, and she figured Father's Day was important too. Sure. President Woodrow Wilson approved of Father's Day in the United States in 1916. President Calvin Coolidge supported it in 1924. And President Lyndon Johnson signed a presidential proclamation in 1966 declaring the holiday the third Sunday in June. In 1972, President Richard Nixon established this as permanent. And so that's how we got our Father's Day. And Sonora Smart Dodd was honored for starting Father's Day celebration at one of the world's fairs. Now many countries in addition to the U.S. celebrate Father's Day, and that's Argentina, Australia, Belgium, Brazil, France, Germany, Japan, New Zealand, Norway, and India, maybe more by now. People celebrate by giving cards and gifts to their father figures. And that includes the Father's Day flower. That's roses. That's a new one for me. So it's a great way to honor our earthly father figures. My own father was a good dad. He has, in my mind, just grown to a shining paragon of dependability, love, and human decency. He worked as a chief of the locks in Fulton, New York, where he supervised others, did paperwork, kept records, and took his shift to let boats go in and out of the dock. It was a part of the canal system, the Erie Canal system. And boats would come down the river, and there were a lot of rocks and stuff, and bump, 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 bump. So there were locks there instead that would lower the boats so they could go out smoothly without bumping on the rocks, or raise the boats so they could go up. And he did a good job there. He was a good provider for the family. And I still miss my dad. I think about him. He spent time with us. He didn't just leave our caretaking to Mom. He was a real father. For example, during the summer, he would take us, and my sisters and I, and maybe neighbor kids, to Fairhaven State Beach. It was a park and a beach. We'd swim, sun ourselves, have a picnic, lunch, and build memories. One time he drove us into the Catskill Mountains for a day trip to Santa Claus Land. That was a big deal. I was about 10. My sister Cindy was about 8. There were goats, chickens, ducks, and other animals for us to pet. Of course there was Santa, and my sister and I sure took advantage of that. We enjoyed visiting him and talked to him about our Christmas wishes, and we had our pictures taken. We got souvenirs too. Mine was a dog, a collie dog, with Santa Claus Land printed on it, a sticker printed on it. Dad expressed caring toward us. Or, as I heard Ann Meyer McKeever, co-founder of the Teaching of Inner Christ, define it, love and action, right? Dad also expressed love and action with my son. After my divorce, I was a student at San Diego State University with custody of my son Russ. School, motherhood, bouncing child support checks, and my son's apparent need for more supervision than usual put a lot of pressure on me. That, as well as my ex-husband's on-again and off-again actions concerning spending time with Russ, put stress on us. You know, we responded with just feelings of stress. My son was acting out, so my parents agreed to take him for late spring and summer. That was one of the best things I could have done for my son and for Dad, who was recovering from cancer surgery. So, Russ was kind of motivation for my dad, and my dad was just wonderful for my son. My father taught my son what a good father was, essentially. He spent time with Russ, as he'd done with us, and Russ stayed glued by my dad's side. One thing they did together was go on long bicycle rides. It helped Dad rebuild his strength, after the surgery and the just seeming ordeal that he had gone through. And it helped Russ by giving him a positive father example, a father who did things with him and for him because he wanted to. Mom told me about these long bike rides. They're from the house all the way around a local lake, Lake Nianawanta, right, and then home. She told me how Russ stayed close to Dad all the time possible to just soak up the fathering, caring aspect of this wonderful man as he filled the void of my son, left by his own father's seeming, actions. Years later, when I was visiting Dad, who was in the process of passing, I thanked him for being a good father to us. It was a good thing to do. I wanted him to have that thought. And I also thanked him for acting as a father to his grandson for that wonderfully healing summer. Healing for both of them. Years later, I saw a result of that summer, too. Russ was living near Buffalo, still is, New York, with his girlfriend and her 2 children. I was visiting my mother in nearby Fulton, New York. I drove to Russ's home, and he needed to take one of his daughters. He treated them as though they were his own biological children. And he needed to take her to a music store so she could buy a new part for her flute. Before we left the house, she asked him if she looked all right. "Dad, do I look okay?" "Beautiful," he told her. They both smiled. We went. She picked out her flute, and he bought it for her. It was decency, that natural, easy caring that my own dad had shown him during that one beautiful golden summer. My son honored my father by following his caring example. He honored him. The father principle, the leading decision-making principle. He had soaked it up so he could just express it. So think about Father's Day. How are you going to celebrate Father's Day? Do you have a special father type with whom to celebrate and honor? Or are you one of those? What are you going to do? Anybody? Do you have any ideas what you're going to do? Yes, Jennifer Ellen Prather.
Well, I'm going to celebrate the memory of my father by meditating on the experiences that we had with each other as a child. He was one of the best fathers in the whole wide world, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to honor him all day with the memories of how he supported me and made my childhood feel safe and secure and loved.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So, are there others who are going to celebrate Father's Day and would like to share that? Okay, all right. Well, we know that we're all going to celebrate Father's Day in our own way. And I'm going to celebrate it, certainly by sharing my own father with you. And I do honor him. I honor that father principle as it expressed through him and as him. And I'm going to celebrate Father's Day with my husband, Paul. He's a father to cats and dogs that we've had throughout the ages, and now we've got cats, and you know, he cares about them. Maybe we'll go to Lamaze restaurant in National City for lunch. Oh God, we both like it. It is a lot, it feels a lot like a fine old upstate New York Italian restaurant, you know, just the decor inside and the seats are, you know, leather, and it just, there's a piano bar, and the food is great too, of course, right? So maybe I'll surprise him with the Father's Day flowers too, the roses. Yeah, 'cause, it's not what we usually think of when we think of men, but I think he'd like to get some roses. So let's thank God for the opportunity to honor our earthly fathers with Father's Day. Huh? It's a good thing. Let's also be aware of and connect with our Father God's watchful, guiding, decision-making side in our daily lives. And we can connect to that. We can do that through inner Christ guided meditation, the inner Christ being that inner divinity that we all are. So I thank you for your time, and happy Father's Day to all of you, to all of us.
Thank you. It's always nice to hear the stories about people's fathers and family, things like that. Your father sounds like a very loving person. Now, in your program, you have a little envelope. It looks like that. And if you'd like to stuff it full of things, like money, for the teaching of the inner Christ, you can do that. I'd like to call the usher forward. And let us speak together the offering and the blessing on page 12 of the program. You can hold it in your hands and bless it together. As we give, so do we receive. Knowing this, it is easy to share our abundance with God's teaching. Thank you, God. And we can sing page 74, Lord, I do give thee thanks. Accompanied by Anne Delano.
Lord, I